been fascinated with ancient civilizations. I will admit that I'm basic enough to spend most of my time researching Romans, Greeks, and Vikings. One thing I've noticed through many different cultures is that they all put a heavy emphasis on identity. Norsemen put an emphasis on family, having your most well-known parent be your last name. In ancient Greece, the motive of identity is seen most prevalently in their myths. In Homer's The Odyssey, Odysseus meets the king Alcinous, who says, "Come, tell us the name they call you there at home. Your mother, father, townsmen, neighbors, roundabout, surely no man in the world is nameless all told. Born high, born low, as soon as he sees the light, his parents always name him once he's born. And tell me your land, your people, your city too. Come, my friend, tell us your story." Notice how he asks for his name, his family, his home, all things that the Greeks deem important when first meeting somebody. So, when looking at today's society, what do we deem important? Family, history, origins? I would say heritage. I've noticed as my life has gone on that almost all of my American friends have told me their ethnicities hailing from everywhere but the U.S. But none of my international friends have ever told me about being anything other than the country they live in. And on that note, unless I'm talking to someone who's not from the U.S., I'll never say that I'm American. But I am. I lived in Maryland and previously lived in D.C. How could I possibly not be American? Well, I am. I am American, and many non-Americans criticize us Americans for trying to say that we are not. And that brings up the question of why. Why do we try so hard to identify ourselves with countries that our families haven't lived in for generations? My grandparents moved from New York from Italy over 100 years ago, so why am I searching so hard to identify with anywhere other than the U.S.? I believe that it's shame. I'll not deny that America has provided countless opportunities for people around the world. We have been taught in school to be proud of the flag that hangs in every classroom, to chant the anthem loud and clear. With the internet allowing us to see all of its imperfections, I can't help but see through that thin red, white, and blue veil of American patriotism. Now I see poverty and food deserts. I see secondary schools refusing to teach basic sex ed, refusing that people could love anyone other than the opposite sex. I see expensive healthcare and education, riots and division, rallying cries of the natives as their land is dug up and replaced with oil pipes. I will stand, but I will not speak as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance, not when the name of a God that I do not worship is in those words, not when black men are shot in their cars while reaching for their licenses. I cannot stand when 12 million people are incarcerated, the highest number in the entire world. I cannot call myself American when slurs are whispered in the hallways, when every school shooter drill has me wondering if today will be my last. I may be depressed and suicidal, but to be shot down by a mentally unstable white man who somehow got access to a gun is not how I want to die. I do not want to be in this country while so many people are one medical emergency away from financial disaster. God forbid that you break your arm or get diagnosed with cancer. I cannot deny when confronted that I am indeed American. It's a truth I feel most conflicted about, knowing that it gave me a life that provided so much for me, but it was at the expense of so many others. So that's why I claim my Italian and Scottish heritage. Maybe one day I won't be as hesitant. Maybe one day America's hands won't be so bloody and I won't be riddled with guilt. But that day has not come. So I can only hope that the sun will rise sometime in the future with the pride of a truly good nation. I don't know.